Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.
Tough luck with that. But judging by what happened in the two innings here, as well as what happened in the Test series against New Zealand, do you think that the batting lineup is kind of a little vulnerable in seaming conditions, and with England tour set to begin next month, there's a bit of questions to answer there?
Well, we definitely need to work out better plans in terms of understanding how to score runs. We have to stay in sync with the momentum of the game and not let the game drift away too much. I don't think there's any technical difficulties as such, but I think it's more down to game awareness and being a little more brave in putting bowlers under pressure and not allowing them to bowl in similar areas for longer periods of time, unless it's absolutely overcast and the ball swinging all over the place like it did on day one. I think outside of that we need to be able to move the game forward and put the opposition under pressure, and that's key to playing and performing in difficult conditions.
Hi Virat, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. Virat, wanted to ask you that since there is now a month-long gap, there will be a break for the players and they will reassemble. Is there a possibility that there can be a few games against the county sides, or it will be intra-squad practice games only going into the England Test series? Like, how do you look at the planning and preparation for the series?
Well, that doesn't depend on us. We obviously wanted first-class games, which I believe have not been given to us. I don't know what the reasons for that are. But yeah, other than that, I think our preparation time will be ample for us to be ready for the first test.
Thank you.
Hi Virat, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, Virat, we all know Rishabh is a natural in terms of his shot making, and it worked very well in Australia also. But in conditions where the ball is doing a lot, do you think he needs to be a little more calculative in terms of his approach?
Well, look, Rishabh's definitely going to, be a very expressive player whenever he gets an opportunity. Whenever there is a situation that needs to be understood, I think he assesses it really well. When things don't come off, you can say that it was an error of judgment, and that's acceptable in sport, but we don't want him to lose his positivity or his optimism in changing the situation for the team, and that's where his USP lies, and we will definitely continue to back him to play that way and find ways to put pressure on the opposition and find ways to score runs, which is a natural game. So we're not too worried about that. I think it's up to him to understand whether it was an error of judgment and rectify it moving forward, because he has a long career with the Indian team and certainly someone who could be a match winner for India on consistently many occasions in the future.
Thank you.
Virat, this is the third tour for the Indian core of the batting unit. For a team that has done well in different conditions, where do you think they struggle when it comes to batting in English conditions? And you had a very exceptional tour last time around. What kind of suggestions you would give your fellow batting?
Well, I don't need to give any suggestions. I think we are collectively trying to put enough runs on the board as a batting unit, and as I said, the mindset has to be to score runs and find ways to score runs. You can't be too worried about getting out because you're bringing the bowler into the game completely and not moving the game forward, as I mentioned. And that's probably the only thing we need to focus. We know that as a batting unit, if we consistently put up 300 on the board, then it's a different kind of pressure on the opposition with the kind of bowlers that we have. So we understand that, and our endeavor will be to keep working on those plans and try to execute them every time that we bat.
Hi Virat, you had earlier said that India reaching the finals was a collective work of of the hard work that you had done under 2 years. So how much weightage would you give to this performance, and do you think nerves played a big role in today's performance because there were some unfamiliar shots?
Well, look. Firstly, I'm not in absolute agreement of deciding, the best test side in the world over a course of one game. To be very honest, if it is a test series, it has to be a test of character over three tests. Which team has the ability to come back into the series or totally blow away the other team. It can't just be, a pressure applied over 2 days of good cricket and then you suddenly are not a good test side anymore. I don't believe in that. I think it has to be a hard grind and something that definitely needs to be worked around in the future to really, at the end of three matches, where there's effort, there's ups and downs, there's situations changing throughout the course of the series, a chance to rectify the things that you've done wrong in the first game and then really see who's the better side over a course of a 3-match series or something will be a good measure of how things really are. So we are not too bothered by this result because we understand, as I said, as a test side, what we've done over the last 3-4 years, not just over the last 18 months, but over the last 3-4 years. So this is not a measure of who we are as a team and the ability and the potential we have had for so many years now.
Captain, just to take the format thing forward, since we are on it, do you see the 2-year cycle as a perfect one, or would you ideally want a 4-year cycle with more teams actually ending up playing each other before deciding the knockout or the final if it is required?
I have no idea. I haven't ever thought about this, and we've never had any discussions over it. There are other tournaments as well, which are big tournaments. So this is not for me to put together. I just believe that it should be done over a course of three matches, so that you as a side prepare accordingly and you have a chance to, as I said, either drive home the advantage or really test the other team out if you haven't had a good first game. So a 4-year cycle or a 2-year cycle, I think a 2-year cycle has been good, but the 4-year cycle discussion has not taken place.
Thank you.
Hello, Virat. I just wondered what you thought of the quality of the New Zealand bowling you faced in those conditions and what made it especially tough to get scores against that attack.
Yeah, look, very consistent. Again, they're a very effective side. We've seen that over the years. They're a very structured side and they like to play their cricket in a certain manner. So, as I said, you need to find ways to disrupt that. If you don't put their bowlers under pressure, then they have the fitness and the consistency to bowl long spells and keep bowling all day in the same areas and trouble you. And the more momentum you give them, then invariably they get the breakthroughs they want. So, as I said, our endeavour from here on will be to try and score runs and not worry about getting out and in testing conditions. That's the only way you can score and put the opposition under pressure. Otherwise, you're just literally standing there, hoping that you don't get out, and eventually you will because you're not being optimistic enough. And I think you have to take more risks and calculated risks and be confident about taking those risks against a quality bowling attack like New Zealand.
Virat, generally when we talk about building teams and everything, we talk about 4-year cycles after a 50-over World Cup or a 2-year cycle after a T20 World Cup or so. So when it comes to building a test team and looking ahead towards the future, how do you see this World Test Championship cycle, keeping Indian cricket in mind, keeping that we have done a great job building a good pool of fast bowlers, now building a pool of batsmen or middle order batsmen, how do you plan for that?
Yeah, look, we will continue to reassess, continue to have conversations around what are the things that are required to strengthen our side and not follow or fall prey to a certain pattern. I think evolving with the game and improving yourself with the game is a very, very important thing. And when you've been a top side for a few years in a row, you don't want to suddenly drop your standards, and we need to keep up with the demands of the game and understand exactly where we need to rectify the areas that need to be rectified as a team, and move in the right direction. And we will certainly take those decisions and have those conversations in the near future. It's not something that we will wait for a year or so. Because, as I said, you have to plan ahead. If you see our white ball team now, as well. We got great depth, and guys are ready, and guys are confident about their skills. So I think the same thing has to be done with Test cricket as well. You have to reassess, you have to replan, and understand what dynamics work for the team and how we can be fearless and bring in the right people who have the right mindset to perform.
Hi Virat, Shubhain here. Virat, you spoke about Kyle Jamieson in the presentation. Your battle against him was enticing to be the same. How would you sum up that face-off and what makes him a challenging bowler with the red ball?
Well, he's a very good bowler, similar to many that I've faced in my career so far. His height, I think, gives him an added advantage. I truly believe that we did not put him under enough pressure. We allowed him to bowl in similar areas for long periods of time and probably didn't work out the areas that we could score against him. And that was probably down to his consistency as well. For a tall guy like that to not miss his length so often is a great quality, and his consistency is what made it very difficult for all of us. So yeah, nothing drastically different from something that we have faced over the years. But yeah, just his consistency from the height which he bowls at, and his accuracy was something that worked in his favor, and he's had a great start to his career, and his numbers are what they are because he's very consistent with the ball.
Captain, now is the final question.
Okay.
Hi there. Just following on from what you're saying about the one-off game. I mean, obviously what we've seen this week, the quality of the cricket when it has been raining has been superb. Do you think there would be the appetite to fit in a three-match World Test Championship on the evidence of what we've seen? Would you welcome it if there was?
Well, absolutely. I mean, if you saw the way the game went, with whatever time we got on the field as well, why wouldn't you want to see two more tests of the same teams battling it out and eventually being the worthy winners of the World Test Championship? And I think historically all the great series that you've seen in Test cricket, you remember them over a period of 3 matches or 5 matches perhaps, with two teams going against each other, and then those series become memorable. So I think this definitely has to be brought in. I mean, I'm not saying this because we're not on the winning side, but just for Test cricket and for this saga to be absolutely memorable, I think it has to happen over a period of 3 games minimum, so that you have a series to remember, because there are going to be ups and downs through and through with two quality sides going at each other, knowing that there's so much on the line.